My child, stop what you are doing and listen to me carefully. Today is not just a date on your calendar. It is a turning point with your name written on it. You have felt something building, something shifting beneath the surface of your life, and this message is not accidental. I need you present, focused, and fully here, because what I am about to reveal will change how you step into that day. Do not treat this like background noise. Stay with me until the very end. What unfolds next will challenge your fear, confront your doubt, and prepare your heart for a shock that will not shake you, but position you. If you walk away too soon, you may miss the clarity you have been praying for. My child, come closer and let me speak to you slowly about this date that has been circling in your mind. Today has not just been sitting on your calendar like any other day. You have felt it approaching in a way that is hard to explain to anyone else. You may not even have words for why it feels different, but I see how your thoughts drift toward it when you are alone. I see how your chest tightens slightly when you think about what might happen around that time. You try to act as if it is just another day, yet your spirit knows there is more attached to it. I want you to understand something deeply personal right now. The reason you feel the weight of this state is not because disaster is waiting for you. It is because movement is. You are not standing in front of collapse. You are standing in front of transition. And transition always feels heavier than routine because it asks something from you. It asks you to let go of the familiar. It asks you to trust beyond what you can measure. You have been sensing that something in your life cannot remain the same much longer. You feel it in your routines, in your relationships, even in the way you think about yourself. There has been a quiet restlessness growing inside you. That restlessness is not a threat. It is preparation. I have allowed you to feel it because it is stretching you beyond the limits you placed on yourself. You are not being pushed toward harm. You are being pulled toward clarity. You have been trying to prepare in your own way. I see how you analyze possibilities, how you imagine outcomes, how you attempt to brace yourself so you will not be caught off guard. That is your way of protecting your heart. You have learned to expect sudden shifts, and you do not want to be blindsided again. I understand why you feel that way. You have lived through moments that changed everything without warning, and you promised yourself you would never be unprepared again. But I need you to hear me carefully here. You cannot prepare for what I am about to unfold by building walls around your emotions. You prepare by softening your trust in me. You prepare by allowing yourself to stay open instead of guarded. This date carries weight because it marks the edge of something you have prayed about and something you have feared at the same time. You want change, yet you are afraid of what change will cost you. That tension inside you is real. I am not dismissing it. I am guiding you through it. I am asking you not to harden your heart as the day approaches. I am asking you to stay connected to me in the quiet moments when your thoughts begin to spiral. You do not need to force calmness. You just need to stay close. The shock that is coming is not meant to shatter you. It is meant to wake you up to what had been forming beneath the surface for a long time. And as we continue, I will walk you step by step through what that truly means for you. My child, stay with me and let me speak into the thoughts you have been carrying quietly. You have already built stories in your mind about what today might bring. You have imagined doors slamming shut. You have imagined sudden loss. You have imagined conversations that do not go well. You have prepared yourself for worst-case scenarios because you believe that if you expect pain, it will hurt less when it arrives. I see the way you rehearse outcomes while you lie awake at night. I see how you measure risks and replay old memories as if the past is a preview of your future. But I want you to stop for a moment. Breathe slowly. Release the tight grip you have on those predictions. The picture you are painting in your mind is shaped more by past wounds than by present reality. You are not wrong for trying to protect yourself. You learned to survive by staying alert. You became sharp, strategic, careful. Yet the caution that once protected you has started to confine you. You have begun to assume that every shift must mean setback. That is not wisdom anymore. That is fear quietly shaping your expectations. I am not asking you to become naive. I am asking you to become open. There is a difference. Open does not mean careless. Open means willing. Willing to see beyond the shadow of what once hurt you. Listen carefully to me now. What you think is coming is not what is actually forming. You expect chaos, but I am aligning clarity. You expect confrontation, but I am positioning confirmation. You expect instability, yet I am securing something steady beneath your feet. Your mind has been preparing for impact like a soldier bracing for battle, but this is not an ambush. It is an unveiling. I want you to loosen your shoulders. Let your jaw unclench. Notice how your body reacts when you imagine that date. That reaction tells me how long you have been living in a state of internal alarm. You do not need to live like that with me. I am not hiding a trap in your future. I'm revealing a turning point. Step back from your own projections. Challenge the assumptions you have been carrying. Ask yourself honestly whether your fear is based on current evidence or old echoes. You have allowed echoes from yesterday to narrate tomorrow. That is understandable, but it is not accurate. I need you to shift the lens. Instead of asking what might go wrong, ask what might finally go right. That question alone changes your posture. I want you to practice that shift deliberately. When your mind drifts toward dread, interrupt it. Speak out loud if you need to. Say that you are willing to be surprised in a good way. That is not denial. That is courage. And as we move forward, I will show you why the shock ahead carries restoration instead of ruin. Stay attentive. Stay available. Let me reshape the story you have been telling yourself. Now let me guide you deeper, because this is where your heart needs reassurance. When I tell you to prepare to be shocked, your first instinct is to associate shock with harm. You remember moments when news arrived without warning and changed everything. You remember phone calls that froze your breath. You remember words spoken in a room that altered relationships forever. Your body still holds those memories. That is why the word shock unsettles you. But the surprise that is approaching does not carry destruction in its hands. It carries revelation. There is something that has been concealed beneath layers of delay and doubt, and it is about to surface. You have been waiting so long for movement that you began to lower your expectations to protect your heart. You told yourself not to hope too much. You convinced yourself that disappointment would be easier if you stayed guarded. I understand why you did that. Hope can feel risky when you have been hurt before. Yet what is coming will challenge the narrative you built around your own limitations. I want you to examine the way you respond to good news. Sometimes you hesitate even when something positive happens. You question it. You wait for the hidden catch. You look for the flaw. That habit was formed through survival, but it does not need to define your future. The shock I am preparing for you will stretch your understanding of what is possible. It will expose how much you underestimated what I could do in your life. It will reveal that certain delays were not denials but strategic pauses. I need you to prepare your heart to receive without suspicion. Practice receiving small things now. When someone compliments you, accept it. When something works out smoothly, allow yourself to enjoy it without scanning for disaster. These are small rehearsals for the larger surprise ahead. Your nervous system has been trained for tension. I am retraining you for trust. Do not flinch when the moment arrives. Do not shrink back because it feels unfamiliar. Stand still. Take it in. Let yourself feel the full weight of a blessing that does not require you to fight for survival. This shock will not dismantle you. It will disrupt the pattern of expecting the worst. And when that disruption happens, you may feel unsteady at first because you are not used to stability that does not demand struggle. Stay with me in that moment. Do not retreat into old defenses. Let the revelation unfold. I am not undoing your life. I am recalibrating it. You have been bracing for impact. Instead, prepare your hands to receive. My child, lean in closer now because this is where your understanding begins to shift in a deeper way. You have spent months, maybe years, looking at your life and quietly asking me what I have been doing. You have looked at circumstances that seemed stalled, relationships that felt suspended, opportunities that appeared to evaporate, and you wondered if I had stepped back. You tried to remain faithful, yet in private you questioned whether anything was moving at all. I want you to hear me clearly. While you were measuring visible progress, I was arranging invisible alignment. While you were counting delays, I was dismantling dangers. While you were standing in what felt like stillness, I was orchestrating outcomes. You did not see the silent shifts because they were not loud. They were deliberate. They were precise. They were protective. I need you to reconsider what you call an activity. There is a kind of progress that makes noise, and there is a kind that makes impact. What I have been doing in your life has been the second kind. I have been strengthening structures beneath the surface so that when the shift comes, it does not collapse under pressure. You thought you were stuck. You were being stabilized. You assumed you were overlooked. You were being positioned. The difference matters. Now pause with me for a moment and reflect honestly on the times when something did not work out the way you wanted. Think about the job that did not open, the partnership that did not last, the plan that fell apart even after you invested energy into it. At the time, you felt confusion. You may have even felt embarrassed. You asked me why I allowed you to hope for something that dissolved. I did not answer you immediately, and that silence unsettled you. But silence does not mean absence. Silence can mean strategy. I was shielding you from outcomes that would have looked promising at first and painful later. I was redirecting your path before it hardened into something misaligned. I need you to trust that I have been thinking beyond your current sightline. You focus on immediate impact. I focus on lasting integrity. You look at what is in front of you. I look at what surrounds you. When it arrives, part of the shock will be realizing how much was already in motion before you noticed. That realization might humble you. It might even make you emotional because you will understand that I never left you navigating alone. Let that awareness settle into your bones. Let it correct the narrative that you were abandoned. You were being guided through quiet construction. You were walking through a season of unseen building. That building is about to surface. Do not rush past this understanding. Sit with it. Let it reshape how you interpret every delay that came before. Now I want to speak directly into the pressure you have been carrying in your body and in your thoughts. You have felt something tightening inside you recently. It is not always obvious, but it shows up when you wake up in the morning and feel a strange weight before the day even begins. It shows up when you are alone and your mind begins to wander into future possibilities. It shows up in the way you react more quickly than usual to small frustrations. That pressure is not random. It is not weakness. It is transition tension. You have been standing between what was and what will be, and that space can feel stretched. I want you to recognize this without judging yourself. You are not unstable. You are expanding. Growth does not always feel gentle. It can feel like internal friction. It can feel like uncertainty pressing against old comfort. That sensation is not a sign that something is wrong. It is evidence that something is shifting. Listen carefully now and follow my instruction here. Do not suppress that pressure by numbing yourself with distraction. Do not run from it by overworking or overthinking. Sit with it in my presence. Bring it to me instead of trying to manage it alone. When you feel that internal tightening, stop and breathe slowly. Acknowledge that you are in the middle of change. Speak honestly about your fears instead of pretending they are not there. I am not asking you to perform calmness. I am inviting you to practice trust. The pressure you feel is similar to the moment before dawn when darkness seems thickest. That does not mean morning will not come. It means transition is underway. You have been interpreting the tension as a warning. It is actually preparation. You are being stretched to hold more responsibility, more clarity, more stability than before. That stretch can feel uncomfortable because it challenges your old boundaries. Do not shrink back to your previous limits. Stay present. Stay connected to me. When the day approaches and the shift becomes visible, you will look back and recognize that this pressure was training. It was strengthening your emotional endurance. It was deepening your resilience. I want you ready, not reactive. I want you steady, not startled. Allow this process to mature you. Let it refine your perspective. The weight you feel right now is not meant to crush you. It is shaping you to carry what is next. My child, I want you to sit with me for a moment and think about the people in your life right now. Not casually, intentionally. Picture their faces. Hear their voices in your memory. Feel the weight of the conversations you have had lately. You already sense that something is shifting in those connections. Some of your relationships have felt fragile. Some have felt forced. Some have felt surprisingly strong when you expected them to fade. I need you to understand that what is unfolding around today will not only affect your circumstances, it will clarify your circles. You have been walking beside certain people out of habit rather than harmony. You have tolerated dynamics that drain you because you feared being alone. You have also underestimated the loyalty of others because past betrayals left a mark on your trust. I see how cautious you have become. I see how you measure words before you speak. That caution protected you at one time, but it also built quiet distance. What is coming will act like a light in a dim room. It will reveal who stands steady and who steps back when change arrives. Do not resist that revelation. Do not scramble to preserve connections that weaken when pressure appears. Instead, observe. Listen closely. Watch behavior, not just promises. You deserve relationships rooted in sincerity, not convenience. You deserve support that does not disappear when circumstances fluctuate. I am not isolating you. I am refining your environment. I want you to prepare your heart for both encouragement and disappointment. You may be surprised by someone who steps forward with unexpected strength. You may also be unsettled by someone who withdraws when you hoped they would stay. Do not let either reaction harden you. Receive support with gratitude. Release withdrawal without resentment. I am adjusting your surroundings because the next chapter of your life requires emotional alignment. Certain voices have influenced your decisions more than you realize. Some of those voices carried doubt disguised as concern. Others carried loyalty you failed to notice because you were focused on louder personalities. I am bringing clarity to that contrast. Allow me to reorder your connections. Stop trying to control how others respond. Instead, focus on how you respond. Stay grounded. Speak honestly. Set boundaries when needed. Invite maturity into your conversations. If tension rises, we address it calmly. Do not retreat into silence just to avoid discomfort. Growth requires courage and dialogue. The shock that arrives may act as a test, revealing which relationships were rooted in depth and which were dependent on stability. Let the truth surface without panic. I am not removing people to punish you. I am aligning people to strengthen you. Trust me with your circle. Trust me with your vulnerability. Open your hands and let me sort what you have been trying to manage alone. Now let us speak openly about something you have not voiced freely. You have been calculating numbers in your mind. You have been assessing risk quietly. You have been looking at your responsibilities and wondering how everything will sustain itself if circumstances shift. I see how practical concerns have weighed on you. You have not only worried about emotions, you have worried about stability. You have considered income, obligations, commitments, and the long-term impact of decisions you might need to make. That kind of thinking shows maturity, yet it has also carried anxiety. You want assurance. You want clarity. You want guarantees before you move forward. I understand that desire. You have learned that poor planning can create unnecessary hardship. But hear me carefully. Preparation is wise. Panic is not. You have allowed fear to amplify scenarios that have not happened. You have imagined financial collapse where there is only transition. You have assumed scarcity where I am preparing provision. This is where you must shift your posture. Do not ignore practical realities, but do not let them dominate your spirit. Review your plans calmly. Seek wise counsel where needed. Make responsible adjustments. Then release the obsession with controlling every possible outcome. You are not alone in this. The shift around today may touch areas you consider foundational. That does not mean it will destabilize you. Sometimes what feels like risk is actually repositioning. You may be redirected toward an opportunity that does not look glamorous at first glance. It may seem small. It may seem uncertain. Do not dismiss it because it lacks immediate prestige. Evaluate it carefully. Pray over it honestly. Then move if I nudge you forward. You have been conditioned to equate security with predictability. True security is found in alignment. I am not careless with your provision. I am not indifferent to your responsibilities. I am inviting you to trust me at a deeper level than spreadsheets and projections. Take action where you need to. Cut unnecessary expenses if wisdom calls for it. Strengthen your discipline where you have been lax. Those are responsible steps. But do not operate from fear-driven urgency. Operate from clarity. I want you steady, not frantic. When the moment of shock arrives, pause before reacting financially. Do not make impulsive decisions out of alarm. Sit with me first. Evaluate carefully. The practical side of your life matters, and I am involved in it. Trust my guidance not only in your heart, but also in your planning. You are being positioned, not impoverished. You are being adjusted, not abandoned. Hold that truth firmly. And as you steady your heart concerning provision, hear me in this also. The very resources you have been praying over are seeds in your hand, not chains around your feet. When you release through super thanks, when you stand as a member, when you sow through the PayPal link in this video's description, you are not losing. You are planting into fertile soil that carries my word to souls standing on the edge of despair. I have said, give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And I speak it over you now as living promise, not distant scripture. This mission is a river of light in a dark hour, and your generosity becomes the oil that keeps the lamp burning before today unfolds. If you feel the pull to help, that is not pressure. It is my spirit inviting you into partnership. Do not let fear calculate what faith is calling you to consecrate. I will guard what concerns you, and I will multiply what you release in obedience. Act now, sow, support, and step into alignment with my provision. My child, there is something I need to bring gently back into your awareness. There is a dream, a desire, or even a relationship that you quietly buried. You stopped talking about it. You stopped praying about it the way you once did. You told yourself it was healthier not to revisit it because every time you did, it reopened disappointment. You convinced yourself that letting go was maturity. In some ways, that decision protected your heart. But deep inside, there has always been a small, steady ember that never fully went out. I see it. I have always seen it. You thought it was extinguished, but it was only covered by caution, covered by fatigue, covered by fear of looking foolish if you hoped again. You lowered your expectations so you would not have to process another heartbreak. I understand why you did that. Hope can feel heavy when it had been deferred. Yet what you assumed was finished was simply waiting for the right alignment. I did not discard what you cherished. I held it. I guarded it. I refined it. And now, as today approaches, part of the shock will be the realization that what you mourned was not erased from your story. It was repositioned. I need you to open your heart slowly to this possibility. Do not rush into excitement, but do not shut the door either. Let curiosity replace cynicism. Ask yourself if perhaps what felt like an ending was a strategic pause. Now listen carefully, because this part requires courage from you. When something resurfaces that you thought was lost, your first reaction may be suspicion. You might question whether it is safe to engage again. You might wonder if you are setting yourself up for disappointment. That reaction is understandable, but do not let it dominate you. Evaluate wisely. Pray sincerely. Move thoughtfully. Yet remain open. The shock will not be random chaos. It will be restoration that you did not dare to expect. I want you to practice receiving possibility again. When you sense that familiar desire stirring, do not silence it immediately. Sit with it in my presence. Ask me for clarity instead of assuming danger. You have grown stronger since the last time you faced this. You are not the same version of yourself. The circumstances are not identical. Growth has occurred in ways you did not measure. The dream you once held may return in a refined form. It may look different. It may require a new approach. Be willing to engage with maturity instead of fear. Let hope stretch you gently. Do not leap blindly, but do not retreat reflexively either. I am not playing with your heart. I am restoring perspective. What you thought was permanently closed may simply have been delayed for development. Hold your heart steady. Trust me as I reveal what has been preserved for you. Now I want to speak directly into something even more personal. For a long time, you have wrestled with your identity. You have adapted yourself to fit different environments. You have adjusted your tone, your preferences, even your ambitions depending on who was around you. Some of that flexibility was wisdom. Some of it was insecurity. You wanted acceptance. You wanted below you. You did not want to stand out in a way that invited criticism. So you softened certain parts of yourself. You minimized certain strengths. You hesitated to express certain convictions. I have watched you do this with good intentions, but it has left you slightly fragmented inside. There hath been a quiet tension between who you truly are and who you present yourself to be. Today will not magically solve everything, but it will mark a shift in how clearly you see yourself. Something will occur that challenges the mask you have been wearing. It may be a conversation. It may be an opportunity. It may be a moment where you must choose between pleasing others and honoring your own convictions. That moment will feel intense. You will test your confidence, but it will also clarify your identity in a way that brings relief. I need you to prepare your heart for honesty. Not harsh honesty, grounded honesty. When the moment arrives, do not default to shrinking yourself. Speak truthfully about what you believe. Acknowledge what you want. Admit what you no longer tolerate. This is not rebellion. It is maturity. You have grown beyond certain patterns of self-doubt. You do not need universal approval to validate your existence. That realization will not come through a speech or a dramatic announcement. It will come through a decision you make in real time. You will sense the old urge to adjust yourself for comfort. Pause there. Breathe. Choose alignment instead. I am inviting you to stand steady in who you are becoming. Identity clarity does not mean arrogance. It means coherence. It means your inner convictions and your outward expression begin to match. The shift will feel unfamiliar at first. You may worry that others will misunderstand you. Let them process it. Your responsibility is integrity, not perception management. The shock you experience may simply be the realization that you have outgrown roles you once accepted. Do not cling to outdated versions of yourself. Step forward with calm confidence. I am not reshaping you into someone unrecognizable. I'm revealing who you have been beneath the adaptations. Trust this unveiling. It will not strip you. It will strengthen you. My child, I want to speak gently into something you rarely admit out loud. Beneath your strength, beneath your discipline, beneath the way you present yourself to others, there is a quiet fear that something hidden might be exposed. You worry that a flaw, a mistake, a weakness, or even a private struggle could come to light in a way that shifts how people see you. That fear has shaped more of your behavior than you realize. It has influenced what you share. It has influenced what you conceal. It has influenced how carefully you manage your image. I am not accusing you. I understand why you have done this. You have seen how quickly people can judge. You have watched how reputations can shift in a moment. So you built protection. You curated what others see. You guarded the parts of yourself that feel vulnerable. But listen to me carefully now. What is about to unfold around today may bring a form of exposure, yet it will not be humiliation. It will be healing. There is a difference. Exposure in the wrong hands wounds. Exposure in my hands restores. I am not interested in embarrassing you. I am interested in freeing you. Consider how much energy you have spent maintaining control over perception. You have replayed conversations in your mind, analyzing what you said and how it might have been received. You have worried about whether someone misinterpreted your intentions. You have feared that if people knew everything about you, they might withdraw. That internal vigilance hath been exhausting. I want you to release some of that tension. Let me carry the burden of defending your character. If something surfaces, face it with calm honesty. Do not panic. Do not scramble to over-explain. Stand steady. Speak truthfully. You do not need perfection to remain valuable. You do not need a flawless record to be respected. When the shock comes, part of it may be the realization that what you feared losing was never as fragile as you imagined. The right people will not disappear because of transparency. The wrong people may shift, but that shift will reveal alignment rather than loss. I invite you to live more openly, even now. Share appropriately. Confess where needed. Seek counsel without shame. Freedom grows in light. Let the walls lower gradually. You do not need to broadcast every detail, but you do need to stop living as if exposure equals destruction. I am strengthening you to withstand honesty. Trust me enough to let truth breathe. Now I want to guide you into something deeply personal. You have been carrying emotions that you have not fully processed. Some of them are grief from disappointments you never allowed yourself to mourn. Some are frustration from responsibilities that stretched you beyond comfort. Some are anger you swallowed because you believed expressing it would create conflict. You have been composed on the outside while quietly overwhelmed inside. I see the discipline you maintain. I also see the fatigue beneath it. Round this turning point, you may find emotions rising unexpectedly. You may feel tears well up in moments that do not seem dramatic. You may experience a wave of relief that surprises you. Do not suppress it. Do not label yourself unstable. Emotional release is not weakness. It is recalibration. You have been bracing internally for so long that your body and mind need space to unwind. When that release begins, pause instead of resisting it. Sit down if you need to. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Let the feelings surface without immediately analyzing them. You do not need to categorize every emotion in the moment. Simply acknowledge that you have been carrying weight. Speak to me honestly about what you feel. If you are tired, say it. If you are disappointed, admit it. If you are relieved, allow it. I am not offended by your honesty. I welcome it. You have spent years trying to be steady for everyone else. Now I am inviting you to be real with me. The shock you experience may not only be external. It may be internal recognition of how much you have endured. That recognition can bring tears, but those tears will cleanse rather than weaken you. Let them come if they come. You are not unraveling. You are releasing tension that has been stored too long. I want you emotionally lighter, not emotionally armored. This season is not about proving resilience. It is about experiencing renewal. Allow yourself to feel without shame. Allow yourself to rest without guilt. As we continue, I will guide you further into what this renewal truly means for your future. My child, I want you to revisit something you have tried to make peace with but never fully understood. There were delays in your life that felt personal. You watched others move forward while you remained waiting. You saw doors open for people who seemed less prepared, less disciplined, sometimes even less deserving in your eyes. And you tried to smile through it. You tried to convince yourself that timing is different for everyone. But underneath that polite acceptance, there was frustration. There were nights when you questioned me. You wondered if I had overlooked you. You wondered if your obedience mattered. You wondered whether your patience was pointless. I was listening to every one of those questions. I was not offended by them. I was aware that you were wrestling with disappointment, not disbelief. I need you to hear something clearly now. The delay that angered you was protection disguised as pause. What you perceive as stagnation was strategic sequencing. You were not being sidelined. You were being shielded. If certain opportunities had opened when you first desired them, you would have stepped into them without the emotional depth you now carry. You would have carried unresolved patterns into new environments. I needed you refined before release. Sit with that truth for a moment. Let it settle. Think about who you were 2 or 3 years ago. Notice how differently you respond to conflict now. Notice how your boundaries have matured. Notice how your discernment has sharpened. Those internal developments were forged in waiting. You call it delay. I call it development. I know that waiting feels heavy. It can feel like being stuck in a silent room while the world moves loudly around you. But that silence builds stamina in you, and built clarity. It built resilience that cannot be taught in comfort. When today brings its shift, Part of the shock will be understanding that the timing now aligns with who you have become. You are not the same person who first prayed those prayers. You are steadier. You are wiser. You are less driven by impulse and more guided by intention. I am asking you now to forgive the season you resented. Release the bitterness you attached to those years. Say it out loud if you need to. Acknowledge that you misinterpreted the pause. Let go of the narrative that you were forgotten. You were being fortified. I was strengthening foundations you could not see. When the moment arrives, you will recognize that the delay did not diminish you. It prepared you. Stand in that realization with humility. Let gratitude replace grievance. The time that once frustrated you will soon make sense in a way that reshapes how you view every setback in your past. Now I want to prepare your eyes and your instincts for something subtle. You have imagined that breakthrough must arrive with spectacle. You have pictured dramatic announcements, obvious promotions, unmistakable signs. But what if the door that shifts your path does not look impressive at first glance? What if it appears ordinary, even underwhelming? I need you attentive, not dazzled. The unexpected door will not shout your name. It will invite you quietly. It may come through a simple conversation, a small opportunity, or an idea that feels almost too modest to matter. You not dismiss it because it lacks glamour. Evaluate it carefully. Sit with it. Pray over it. Let me guide your discernment. You have been conditioned to associate significance with size. Yet some of the most transformative shifts in your life began with small decisions. You know this. Look back and remember. The major changes were often triggered by moments that seemed minor at the time. That pattern is not accidental. When this door appears, your first reaction might be hesitation. You may question whether it is worth your effort. You may compare it to what you once imagined and feel slight disappointment. Pause before you walk away. Ask me for clarity. Ask me to reveal whether this is the pathway I have been aligning for you. I am not asking you to accept every opportunity blindly. I am asking you to resist the urge to measure potential solely by appearance. The shock may come from realizing that what you once overlooked carries more promise than what you once chased. I want you flexible. I want you discerning. I want you courageous enough to step through something that does not fit your previous blueprint. This is where trust becomes practical. You say you trust me. Now let that trust shape your decisions. If I nudge you gently toward that unexpected opening, move. Do not delay out of fear of insignificance. Do not cling to an outdated vision of success. Let me redefine progress for you. You are not being reduced. You are being redirected. The door may look narrow, but it will lead to spacious growth. Keep your eyes open. Keep your heart steady. When it appears, you will feel a quiet recognition within you. Follow that recognition with wisdom, not anxiety. I am guiding you into alignment, even if it arrives wrapped in simplicity. My child, I want you to notice something that has already been happening inside you, even before the day arrives. There has been a subtle strengthening in you that you have not fully acknowledged. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It does not announce itself in grand gestures. It shows up in small decisions. It shows up in the way you pause before reacting. It shows up in the way you question old assumptions instead of immediately believing them. You have been growing, and you have not given yourself credit for it. I have watched you move from fragile to firm, from scattered to steady, from anxious to aware. The progression did not happen overnight. It happened in ordinary days when you chose restraint over impulse, reflection over reaction, clarity over chaos. You thought you were just surviving. You were actually strengthening. And now, As this turning point approaches, your confidence is about to shift in a way that may surprise you. It will not feel like arrogance. It will feel like alignment. It will feel like your inner voice becoming clearer, calmer, more grounded. That is not self-reliance replacing faith. That is faith settling into your identity. I want you to prepare for this shift intentionally. Do not dismiss your growth as coincidence. Do not attribute it solely to circumstance. Recognize it as refinement. When the shock unfolds, you may find yourself responding with more composure than you expected. You may notice that panic does not grip you the way it once did. That steadiness will catch your attention. Receive it. Do not question it. Step into it. You have spent years doubting your capacity. You have minimized your resilience. You have compared your journey to others and concluded that you were behind. But I have been building quiet strength in you, layer by layer. The next phase of your life requires that strength. It requires that you trust your discernment. It requires that you stand in rooms without shrinking. I am inviting you to practice speaking with clarity now. Practice making decisions without over-apologizing. Practice holding your boundaries without guilt. These are not small adjustments. They are foundational. Your confidence will not come from external applause. It will come from internal coherence. When you feel that shift, embrace it. Do not retreat into old insecurity. Move forward. Let your voice carry conviction without aggression. Let your posture reflect calm without stiffness. This is not a personality change. It is a maturation. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming more fully yourself. And when the day brings its moment, you will realize that the steadiness you feel is the result of everything you have endured. Stand tall, not in pride but in peace. You are rising into confidence, and confidence acts. The steadiness forming within you is not only for survival, it is for stewardship. When you choose to support this work through super thanks, membership, or by giving through the PayPal link in the description, you are standing tall in faith, declaring that my word will travel farther than fear ever could. I am the one who gives seed to the sower, and I am placing seed in your hand now because I trust you to multiply light in the earth. This message is fire refining hearts before today, and your generosity becomes the wind that carries that fire to waiting souls. If your heart burns as you listen, that is me saying, build with me. I will breathe favor over what you release. I will cause harvest to rise where you once saw limitation. Do not shrink back into hesitation. This is your moment of bold partnership. Step forward now, give with confidence, and let your faith move. Now I want to speak to something even more subtle. In the days surrounding this shift, your awareness of me will feel different. Not dramatic in a theatrical way. Not overwhelming in a way that destabilizes you. It will feel clearer, quieter, more immediate. You may notice that certain thoughts come with a calm assurance rather than anxious urgency. You may sense nudges in ordinary moments, during a walk, during a conversation, even during a routine task. Do not dismiss those impressions. You have sometimes questioned whether you were imagining guidance. You have second-guessed your intuition. I want you attentive now. I am not increasing volume. I am refining clarity. Your spiritual sensitivity is sharpening because your distractions are decreasing. You have been pruning habits that once clouded your focus. You have been more intentional with your time, even if imperfectly. That intentionality creates space. And in that space, my guidance becomes easier to recognize. I want you to cultivate that sensitivity deliberately. Set aside moments of stillness. Turn down the noise around you when you can. Resist the constant pull of stimulation. Listen more than you speak. When you feel prompted to pause before responding, honor that pause. When you feel a gentle conviction about a decision, do not ignore it. Test it with wisdom, but do not suppress it. You have asked me for clearer direction. Now that clarity is forming, do not overlook it because it arrives quietly. The shock you experience may not only be external events. It may also be the realization that you are more spiritually attuned than you thought. That realization will strengthen your trust. You will begin to recognize patterns in how I guide you. You will notice that peace often accompanies alignment, while agitation signals caution. Learn that language. Pay attention to it. Do not become superstitious or hypervigilant. Stay grounded. Stay thoughtful, but remain open. Your sensitivity is not fragility. It is discernment. It is the ability to sense direction before circumstances fully unfold. That awareness will serve you well in the days ahead. Lean into it. Invite me into your decisions. Speak to me honestly. Listen patiently. You are not navigating this transition alone. I am nearer than you realize, and I am guiding you more clearly than you have yet perceived. My child, I want you to think honestly about the cycles you have lived through. Not casually, not defensively. Look carefully at the patterns that have followed you for years. The similar disappointments, the familiar dynamics, the way certain relationships begin with promise and end with confusion, the way certain opportunities excite you and then slowly erode your confidence. You have noticed it before, even if you did not name it out loud. There had been a rhythm to your struggles, almost like a loop that kept replaying with different faces and slightly different details. You began to wonder if the pattern was your fault. You asked yourself whether something in you attracted repetition. That question weighed on you. It made you cautious. It made you second-guess your instincts. I want you to hear me clearly now. The pattern was not proof of your failure. It was a lesson repeated until it was understood. And now, as the day approaches, you are stepping into the interruption of that loop. The shock will not be loud chaos. It will be the realization that something feels different this time. You may notice that you respond differently to a familiar trigger. You may observe that you do not tolerate what you once excused. You may find that you walk away sooner, or that you stand firmer, or that you ask better questions. That shift is not coincidence. It is growth meeting opportunity. I want you to prepare for this by paying attention to your instincts. When you sense a situation that resembles the past, pause. Do not react automatically. Do not slide into old habits because they feel comfortable. Evaluate it consciously. Ask yourself whether this aligns with who you have become. You have more awareness now. Use it. You have stronger boundaries now. Apply them. The breaking of a pattern requires participation. I am opening the door to a new cycle, but you must choose to walk through it differently. Do not romanticize what once hurt you. Do not excuse red flags because you fear loneliness. Do not compromise your clarity to avoid conflict. This is the moment where repetition turns into redirection. When you feel that familiar tension, breathe and choose alignment instead of habit. You are not trapped in your past patterns. You are being released from them. The shock will be the relief of realizing you are no longer looping. You are moving forward. Let that truth settle into your confidence. Let it reshape how you approach every familiar situation. You are not destined to repeat. You are ready to renew. Now I need to speak directly to something you have been postponing. There is a conversation you have been avoiding. It may involve someone close to you. It may involve a decision that affects your future. It may even involve confronting yourself about something you have delayed addressing. You have felt the nudge to handle it, yet you hesitated. You told yourself the timing was not right. You told yourself you needed more clarity. In truth, you were uncomfortable. You feared conflict. You feared misunderstanding. You feared the emotional weight of it. I do not condemn you for that hesitation. Conversations that carry consequence can feel intimidating. But as this turning point approaches, circumstances will likely bring that discussion forward. It will no longer feel optional. And when that moment comes, I want you ready. Not defensive. Not reactive. Ready. Prepare yourself now. Reflect on what you truly need to say. Strip away exaggeration. Remove unnecessary accusation. Focus on clarity and honesty. When the opportunity arises, speak calmly. Maintain eye contact. Breathe slowly. Do not let your voice rise in insecurity. Do not allow silence to pressure you into retreat. This conversation is not about winning. It is about alignment. If truth needs to be spoken, speak it. If apology is necessary, offer it sincerely. If boundaries need to be clarified, state them respectfully. You have grown beyond passive endurance. You no longer need to swallow discomfort to preserve surface peace. Real peace requires truth, and truth requires courage. The shock around today may not be an event that happens to you. It may be a moment when you choose to handle something you once avoided. That choice will shift more than you realize. It will alter dynamics. It will redefine expectations. It will strengthen your self-respect. I am asking you to trust me in that conversation. Invite me into it before it begins. Ask me for calmness. Ask me for wisdom. Then step forward without delay. Do not rehearse catastrophic outcomes in your mind. Focus on integrity. You cannot control how others respond, but you can control how you present yourself. Stand firm. Speak clearly. Leave the results to me. This is not about stirring conflict. It is about resolving tension. And when it is done, you will feel lighter. You will feel aligned. You will realize that courage in dialogue was the key to unlocking a new level of freedom. My child, I want you to slow down with me here because this next realization may catch you off guard. You have underestimated yourself for a long time. You have measured your strength by your weakest moments. You have judged your capacity by the days you felt exhausted. You have replayed mistakes and concluded that you were fragile. Yet I have watched you endure circumstances that would have broken a less resilient heart. I have seen you stand when you wanted to sit down permanently. I have seen you speak when your voice trembled. I have seen you show up when your spirit felt thin and tired. You did not call that strength. You called it survival. But survival sustained over years becomes stamina. And stamina becomes strength. Around today, part of the shock will not be what happens externally. It will be what you realize internally. You will respond to something with clarity and composure, and afterward you will pause and think, when did I become this steady? That question will not come from pride. It will come from recognition. You have been forged quietly. Think about the seasons that once felt unbearable. Think about the betrayal that shook your trust. Think about the financial pressure that forced you to budget carefully and plan deliberately. Think about the emotional strain that taught you to regulate your reactions. At the time, you felt like you were barely holding together. But in truth, you were being built. I was strengthening your mind, stretching your patience, refining your perspective. You thought you were unraveling. You were being reinforced. I need you to start seeing yourself through a more accurate lens. Stop rehearsing narratives that label you as weak. Stop shrinking your accomplishments because they did not look dramatic. Strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet consistency. Sometimes it is choosing not to retaliate. Sometimes it is staying when it would be easier to run. You have done all of those things. So when the moment arrives and you handle it with maturity, do not dismiss that growth as coincidence. Receive it. Acknowledge it. Let it build confidence rather than suspicion. You are not the same person who first encountered those early struggles. You are deeper. You are steadier. You are wiser. And I want you to own that reality without arrogance and without apology. Stand in it. Speak from it. Act from it. You are stronger than you have allowed yourself to believe, and the shock ahead will reveal that truth in a way that recalibrates your self-perception. Now let me guide you to what comes after the initial moment. Because when shock arrives, whether it is revelation, restoration, or redirection, your first reaction may be intensity. Your heart may race. Your thoughts may accelerate. Your emotions may surge. That is human. Do not judge yourself for that reaction. But what I want you to anticipate is what follows. After the wave passes, there will be calm. Not empty silence. Grounded peace. It will settle slowly, like clear water after a storm has moved through. You may not notice it immediately. It may arrive hours later, or the next morning when you wake up and realize that something feels resolved inside you. That peace will be my confirmation. It will not scream for attention. It will simply anchor you. You have lived with background anxiety for longer than you realize. You have carried low-level tension even during good seasons. When the shift completes its first phase, that tension will loosen. When you sense that calm, do not rush past it. Sit in it deliberately. Reflect on what has changed. Ask yourself how you feel compared to a month earlier. Acknowledge the relief without suspicion. You have sometimes distrusted peace because you expected it to be temporary. You have wondered whether calm was only the quiet before another storm. I'm asking you to stop interpreting tranquility as fragility. Let it be stable. Let it teach you that not every season is defined by crisis. Breathe deeply when you feel it. Notice how your body relaxes. Notice how your thoughts slow down. That state is not accidental. It is earned through growth and guided through alignment. Protect that peace. Do not invite unnecessary drama back into your life out of habit. Do not seek chaos because calm feels unfamiliar. Stay steady. Guard your boundaries. Choose environments that support clarity. The peace that follows will not mean that life becomes effortless. It will mean that you are anchored differently, and that anchor will change how you move forward. You will make decisions from stability instead of urgency. You will respond instead of react. You will rest without guilt. Receive that peace as a gift, not as a fluke. It is part of what I have been preparing you for all along. My child, as we move toward the final stretch of this unfolding, I need to prepare you for something very practical and very personal. When the day arrives and the shock touches your life, your first reaction may not be calm. Your heart may jump. Your thoughts may race ahead of the facts. Your body may respond before your mind has time to interpret what is happening. That response is human. I designed you with instincts. But I am asking you now, ahead of time, do not let the first reaction define the entire story. Do not build conclusions from the first emotion. Do not speak permanent words in a temporary surge. Pause. Literally pause. Take a breath. Step away from the immediate intensity and invite me into the moment before you decide what it means. You have a habit of trying to solve everything instantly. You feel responsible to respond quickly. You want to control outcomes before they spiral. That urgency once helped you survive chaotic seasons, But this moment requires steadiness instead of speed. When the shift happens, resist the impulse to interpret it as either disaster or destiny within seconds. Let it unfold. Let clarity catch up to emotion. You have seen how quickly panic can distort perspective. A small development can feel catastrophic when fear narrates it. A challenging conversation can seem like total rejection when insecurity interprets it. I want you anchored enough to recognize that initial feelings are not final verdicts. Practice this now. When something unsettles you today, experiment with waiting before reacting. Train your nervous system to tolerate uncertainty for a few extra minutes. Breathe deeply. Speak to me internally. Ask me for interpretation rather than assuming your own. You are capable of calm decision-making when you give yourself space. The shock ahead will not require frantic scrambling. It will require thoughtful response. I am not asking you to suppress emotion. I am asking you to regulate it. Feel what you feel, but do not let it drive the car. You are not alone in this moment. I am present. I am guiding. I am steady even when circumstances feel sudden. Let my steadiness become yours. Do not text impulsively. Do not make irreversible decisions in the heat of adrenaline. Sit with me first. Reflect. Pray. Seek wise counsel if necessary. And move deliberately. Panic narrows your vision. Peace widens it. Choose peace. Choose pause. Choose perspective. The choice will shape how this entire turning point unfolds for you. Now I need to bring this back to the core of everything I have been saying to you. Beneath the dates, beneath the shifts, beneath the surprises and revelations, this moment is about trust. You have trusted me in theory. You have spoken words of faith. You have affirmed belief when circumstances were manageable. But now I am inviting you to trust me in movement. Trust me when you cannot see the full picture. Trust me when the path does not look exactly how you imagined it. Trust me when something shifts and you feel that familiar flicker of uncertainty. I am not asking for blind obedience. I am inviting relational trust. The kind that grows from history. Look back at your life honestly. Consider how many times you thought you would not recover from something, and yet you did. Consider how many moments felt final, and yet became foundational. You are still here. You are still standing. That continuity is not accidental. It is evidence. As the day approaches, I want you to speak your trust out loud. Do not keep it abstract. Say that you are willing to follow where I lead. Say that you are open to outcomes you did not plan. Say that you release control over every detail. Those words are not weakness. They are alignment. You have carried the illusion that everything depends on your vigilance. It does not. Your responsibility is faithfulness, not omniscience. I'm asking you to loosen your grip on certainty and strengthen your grip on relationship. When the shock comes, let trust be your anchor. When questions arise, bring them to me instead of letting them spiral alone in your mind. Invite me into your planning. Invite me into your conversations. Invite me into your decisions. I am not distant. I am involved. I am not observing from afar. I am walking beside you into this moment. The invitation is simple but profound. Trust me not just with your comfort, but with your transition. Trust me not just with your prayers, but with your process. If you accept that invitation, what unfolds next will not feel like chaos. It will feel like partnership, and that partnership will carry you through every shift still ahead. My child, come closer for this final part, because everything I have said to you now gathers here. Strip away the date. Strip away the predictions. Strip away the tension and the anticipation. What remains is this simple, steady truth. You are not walking into today alone. You are not stepping into shock without support. You are not facing revelation without relationship. I have been ahead of you. I am with you now. I will remain with you after the moment passes. That is not poetic comfort. That is reality. You have built entire scenarios in your mind about what might happen, and I have patiently allowed you to process them. But I do not want you carrying the future like a fragile package that could shatter in your hands. Release it. Open your hands right now, even physically if you need to. Let the tension fall out of your grip. You have been bracing as if you must absorb every impact yourself. You do not. You never did. I am your covering and your compass. I am your shield and your shepherd. I am not a distant observer of your life. I am invested in it. When the shock arrives, whether it comes as surprise, restoration, clarity, or confrontation, I want you to remember this. Nothing will catch me off guard. Nothing will outrun my guidance. Nothing will overpower my protection over you. Let that settle into your thinking. Let it quiet the restless speculation that has been circling in your mind. You have grown through every point we have walked through together. You have faced the fear of exposure. You have processed emotional release. You have recognized hidden strength. You have confronted patterns and prepared for conversations. You have examined relationships, finances, identity, and trust. This entire journey has not been about predicting an event. It has been about preparing your posture. Your posture matters more than the moment. The way you stand internally determines how you interpret what unfolds externally. So here's what I need you to remember and actively practice. When the day comes, breathe before you speak. Reflect before you decide. Pray before you react. Trust before you conclude. Do not rush to label what happens as good or bad within seconds. Let understanding mature. You are not required to master the future. You are invited to walk through it with me. If confusion arises, bring it to me instead of letting it spiral privately. If joy surfaces, receive it without suspicion. If change feels uncomfortable, stay grounded instead of retreating. You have been equipped for this, not because you are flawless, but because you have grown. I am not measuring your worth by how perfectly you handle the moment. I am walking with you through it. Let that awareness anchor you deeply. And now, before we close this message, I want you to make a conscious decision. Do not drift away casually from these words. Tip for a moment. Reflect on what you have heard. Speak to me directly. Tell me your fears. Tell me your hopes. Invite me into your day before it arrives. Say out loud that you trust me with what you cannot control. Say that you are willing to respond with steadiness instead of panic. Say that you release the need to predict every detail. These are not empty statements. They are alignment. When you declare them, you shift your focus from uncertainty to partnership. Remember this above everything else. The shock will not define you. Your response will. And your response is shaped by trust. Walk into that day with awareness, not anxiety. Walk into it with openness, not dread. Walk into it knowing that you are supported, seen, and guided. I am not leaving your side. I have not abandoned your path. I am in this with you, every breath, every step, every shift. Hold that truth firmly. Carry it into the day. And when the moment comes, stand steady. You are ready. You are not alone, and neither are the thousands who are searching for truth before this appointed hour. As you walk into today with trust instead of anxiety, I invite you to help carry this message like manna to those starving for hope. When you give through super thanks, when you become a member, or when you sow through the PayPal link in this video's description, you become a co-laborer in my harvest field. I have declared, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, and I am watching over that promise even now. This is not a casual offering. It is oil poured upon an altar that keeps the flame of truth burning in uncertain times. If you sense the nudge to act, it is because I am drawing you into eternal impact. I will shield your house, multiply your seed, and establish your steps as you honor me in this way. Do not delay in passive agreement. Move in active obedience. Give now, stand steady, and let your generosity echo into eternity. And once you have responded, let your heart grow still and attentive. What you have released in faith is not only moving outward, it is awakening something within you. This is the moment where obedience sharpens your awareness, where your spirit begins to sense what your mind cannot yet explain. You are stepping into a time that is not ordinary, a moment that carries weight beyond the surface. So lean in closely now, because what you are about to perceive is already unfolding around you. My child, lean in and listen closely, for the air around you is vibrating with a frequency you cannot yet name. I am calling to you from the center of the whirlwind, not to frighten you, but to wake you from the heavy slumber that has settled over your soul. You have been moving through your days like a shadow, going through the motions of your job, the routines of your home, and the silent cycles of your worries. But I am here to break the trance. I am speaking a specific date into your spirit. Today. Mark this moment in the calendar of your heart. This is not a random ticking of the clock. It is a divine marker, a line I have drawn in the sand of human history. You might feel a strange tension in your chest when you hear this, a sudden realization that the world as you have known it is shifting beneath your feet. Do not recoil from this feeling. I am using this alert as a gesture of my intense, fatherly love to ensure you are not caught in the dark when the light of my intervention breaks through the clouds. I am commanding you to awaken now. Shake off the spiritual lethargy that tells you tomorrow will be just like today. You see the headlines, you feel the tremors in the economy, and you sense the friction in the hearts of those around you, yet you often try to soothe yourself with distractions. Stop running to things that cannot save you. I invite you to open your eyes to the biblical lens through which the world must be viewed. The turbulence you see is not merely political or social. It is a sign of the times I spoke of long ago. You must develop a discerning spirit, one that cuts through the noise of social media and the empty chatter of the world. I will give you this discernment if you ask me. I will sharpen your intuition until you can hear my whisper even in the loudest storm. You are my servant, and I have promised that I do nothing on this earth without first revealing my secrets to those who walk with me. I am pulling back the curtain for you today because I want you to be prepared, not panicked. I see the way you struggle with the uncertainty of the future. I know the knots in your stomach when you think about your finances, or the safety of your children in a world that seems to have lost its mind. I am telling you right now, I am in control of the calendar. Today is a day of my design. You must understand that my alert is your advantage. While the world wanders blindly toward a destination it does not understand, I am giving you the map. I am inviting you to step into a deeper level of intimacy where my plans become your peace. Look at the patterns of the past. I have always provided a way for my people before the shaking begins. I provided the ark for Noah, a way through the sea for Moses, and a warning for the disciples. Today, I am providing this clarion call for you. Your life is not a series of accidents, and your presence here, listening to my voice, is a deliberate appointment. I have seen your silent prayers and your late-night questions. I am answering them now by calling you to attention. I will guide your steps if you commit to following my lead without hesitation. You need to be alert because the enemy of your soul wants you distracted by the trivial, but I want you focused on the eternal. I am making my voice clear to you so that when the world experiences its shock, you will be standing on the rock. You are my precious child, and I will not leave you in the dark. I am your father, your protector, and your guide. Trust me as we approach this appointed day. Breathe in my presence and let my strength replace your frailty. I am with you, and I am speaking. Can you hear me? My child, I want you to understand exactly what I mean when I speak of a shock. To the world, a shock is a catastrophe, a sudden break in the peace that leads to chaos and terror. But I am inviting you to see it through my eyes. For the righteous, this shock is a divine interruption, a holy pause in the mundane rhythm of a world that has forgotten its creator. I am going to shake the earth not to destroy you, but to dismantle the false securities you have leaned on for far too long. You have built your sense of safety on bank balances, political promises, and the predictable rising of the sun. But I am telling you that these are shifting sands. Today, the atmosphere of this planet will shift. I will allow a moment of such profound intensity that the world will be caught completely unaware. They will look to their screens and their leaders for answers, only to find silence and confusion. But you, my beloved, will stand ready. I command you to begin preparing your heart today so that when the suddenness of my intervention arrives, you are not swept away by the tide of panic. I am declaring a season where the idols of this age will crumble. Think of the things the world worships: celebrity, technology, and the raw power of money. I am going to show the world how fragile these things truly are. You see the pride in the hearts of men, the way they boast as if they hold the keys to the future. I will blow upon their plans, and they will scatter like dry leaves in a gale. This shock is necessary because the world has become deaf to my whisper. Now, I must speak with the thunder. But do not let your heart be troubled. While the world experiences a gut-wrenching panic, I promise you a sense of godly awe. You will recognize my hand in the midst of the shaking. You will feel a supernatural calm that defies logic. When others are crying out in fear, you will find yourself on your knees in worship, saying, "My Father is here." I am interrupting the business as usual of humanity to remind every soul that I am the Alpha and the Omega. You must recognize that divine intervention often feels like a destruction before it feels like a deliverance. I invite you to remember the night the Red Sea was parted. For the Israelites, it was a moment of absolute shock. They were trapped between an army and an ocean. To them, it looked like the end, but to me it was the beginning of their freedom. I am preparing a similar parting of the sea for you. The systems of this world are a prison, and I am about to shake the foundations of that prison until the doors fly open. I am calling you to stand firm while everything around you wavers. Do not look at the storm. Look at me. I am the anchor that holds when the cables of the world snap. I am your stability when the global spiritual atmosphere turns cold and dark. I will be the fire in your bones and the light in your eyes. Trust in the suddenness of my power. I can do more in a moment of shock than man can do in a century of planning. I am your God, and I am moving. My precious one, come closer to me. Before the appointed day arrives, there is a work we must do together inside your soul. I am calling for an urgent season of personal repentance. I do not say this to condemn you, for my love for you is infinite, but I say it because I want you to be a clean vessel. You cannot carry the new wine of my revelation in an old, cracked skin. I am commanding you to look into the corners of your heart, the places you keep hidden even from yourself. I see the leaven of small sins, the little compromises, and the bitterness you've held onto like a shield. These things cloud your spiritual vision. They act like a film over your eyes, making it hard for you to see the signs I am placing right in front of you. I invite you to lay these burdens down at my feet right now. Do not wait for tomorrow. The time is short, and I want you to walk into today with a heart that is light and a spirit that is clear. I am asking you to consecrate your thoughts and your intentions unto me. You live in a world that is obsessed with the profane, with things that are shallow, loud, and empty. Your mind is bombarded with images and messages that try to pull you away from my presence. I command you to guard the gates of your heart. What are you feeding your soul? If you fill yourself with the fear of the world, you will have no room for the faith of my kingdom. I am declaring over you a spirit of purity. In the midst of a world that celebrates darkness, you shall be a beacon of holiness. This isn't about following a list of rules, it's about a heart that is fully surrendered to its maker. When you surrender, you stop fighting for your own way, and you start resting in mine. You will find a beauty in this purity that the world can never offer. It is the beauty of a quiet conscience and a soul that is at rest with its God. I promise you that a clean heart is a powerful heart. When the shock comes, those with cluttered souls will be distracted by their own baggage. But because you have allowed me to cleanse your temple, you will be equipped to handle the weight of what I am about to reveal. You will hear my voice with clarity. You will move with precision. I am stripping away the layers of religious performance so that only the real you remains. I love the real you, the one who is vulnerable, honest, and hungry for more of me. I invite you to breathe in my holiness right now. Let it wash over you like a mountain stream, carrying away the grit and the grime of your daily struggles. You are being prepared for a divine encounter. You are being set apart for a purpose that is larger than your own life. I am your Father, and I am making you whole. Walk with me in this newness of life. My child, you are in a battle, whether you feel the heat of the fire or not. The enemy of your soul knows that today is a significant marker, and he is working overtime to weary you before you get there. I want to identify the specific spiritual attacks you are facing in this current season. I see the mental distress that keeps you awake at 3:00 a.m. I hear the whispers of inadequacy that tell you that you aren't strong enough or Christian enough to survive what is coming. These are fiery darts, launched from the darkness to quench your passion. I am commanding you to take up the shield of faith. The shield is not a passive piece of equipment. It is a declaration of your trust in my word. When the world says scarcity, you must say provision. When the enemy says defeat, you must say victory. I am your defense, and I am teaching your hands to war and your fingers to fight. I invite you to gird your loins with the absolute truth of my word. In an age of your truth and my truth, there is only my truth, and it is the only thing that will keep you standing when the ground begins to liquefy. You must eat my word like daily bread. Let it be the first thing you think of in the morning and the last thing on your lips at night. I am giving you the helmet of salvation to protect your mind from the poison of despair. The world is becoming a place of deep mental and emotional trauma, but I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. I am declaring that your mind belongs to me. No weapon of depression or anxiety formed against you shall prosper, because your thoughts are anchored in the eternal. I am fortifying your spirit daily as you spend time in my presence. I command you to stand firm. When you see others wavering, when you see those you thought were strong begin to compromise, do not let your heart fail. I am making your feet like hinds' feet, able to walk on the high places of the storm. I invite you to practice the discipline of faith. Faith is not a feeling, it is a muscle. You strengthen it by trusting me in the small things today so you can trust me in the shock of tomorrow. I see the pressure at your job and the tensions in your family. Use these as training grounds. Instead of complaining, command the situation to align with my will. Instead of worrying, invite my peace to rule. I am building a warrior in you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a victor in my name. I promise to be the strength in your weakness. When you feel you cannot take another step, I will carry you. Put on the full armor, my child. The day is approaching, and you shall be found standing. My beloved, look around you and tell me what you see. You see massive institutions, ancient systems, and political powers that look like they will last forever. But I am telling you that many of these are built on sand. I am allowing a great shaking to come upon the earth, and its purpose is simple: to reveal what is unshakable. Today, you will begin to see the cracks in the foundations of human wisdom. I am declaring the failure of man's strength. For too long, humanity has thought they could solve their problems without me. They have relied on their technology, their policies, and their cleverness. But I am going to show the world that without me, they can do nothing. I invite you not to be troubled when you see the experts lose their way. When the systems of men begin to fail, it is your cue to look up, for your redemption is drawing near. I am exposing the religious facades that have taken my name but lacked my power. There are many houses of God that are actually houses of man, built for the glory of the preacher or the comfort of the crowd. I am going to shake these institutions until the gold is separated from the dross. I want a people who worship me in spirit and in truth, not just in ritual and tradition. I command you to return to the Rock of Ages. I am your only true stability. When the economy fluctuates and the political landscape shifts like a desert dune, the rock remains. I invite you to find your peace in my sovereignty. I am the one who sets up kings and takes them down. I am the one who holds the oceans in the palm of my hand. If you are hidden in me, what can the world do to you? You will find a peace that passes all understanding while the rest of the world is searching for a foothold. I see your fear of losing what you have worked for. I know you worry about your security and your future. But I am telling you that anything that can be shaken needs to be shaken so that only the eternal remains. I am your provider. I am your security. If the external structures of your life fail, I will be the one who sustains you. I promise that those who trust in the Lord will not be put to shame. I am calling you to a higher perspective. Stop looking at the world through the lens of loss. Start looking through the lens of kingdom gain. When the false foundations fall, it clears the ground for my glory to be revealed. I am inviting you to be part of the unshakable kingdom. You are a citizen of heaven, and your inheritance cannot be touched by the fires of this world. Stand tall, my child. The world is falling away, but I am holding you fast. My child, do not turn away now, for we have only just begun to peel back the layers of the world's deception. It would grieve my heart deeply to see you walk away at this moment, leaving your spirit half-armed and vulnerable to the very shaking I am trying to save you from. I have opened my mouth to speak these secrets to you, and to see you lose interest now would be like a son turning his back while his father points out the only safe path through a minefield. Stay with me, for the revelations ahead are the very keys to your survival. I am pouring out my heart. Do not let my words fall on deaf ears. My child, let us talk about the things you hold in your hands: your money, your resources, and your earthly wealth. I know the weight of the bills on your table and the anxiety that creeps in when you look at the rising costs of living. I want to give you my perspective on these things. To the world, money is a god. It is mammon, and it demands your total worship and your constant worry. but I am commanding you to break the spirit of greed and fear over your life. Money is merely a tool in my kingdom, and I am its rightful owner. I am inviting you to move from a mindset of survival to a mindset of stewardship. You do not have to beg for bread, for I am a Father who knows what you need before you even ask. When the financial systems of men experience a shock, those who have trusted in the system will be devastated. But those who have trusted in my provision will find that my bank never fails. I am declaring a blessing over the widow's mite. You might feel like you have very little to give, or that your efforts are insignificant. But I do not look at the amount. I look at the heart. I invite you to trust me with your tithe and your offerings, even when it doesn't make sense to your bank account. This is not because I need your money, but because I need your trust. When you release what is in your hand, it allows me to release what is in mine. I promise to open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing that you cannot contain. In these uncertain times, your financial security is not found in a diverse portfolio, but in a devoted heart. I command you to prepare your household with wisdom and prudence. Do not be reckless, but do not be fearful. I will give you the strategy to navigate the coming shifts. I will show you where to plant and when to harvest. The shock will rebalance the scales for the faithful. While the world hoards out of fear, I am calling you to sow out of faith. I see the pressure you feel to keep up with the world's standard of living, but I am calling you to a different standard, the standard of my kingdom. I am your source. If the brook dries up, I will send the ravens. If the oil runs low, I will make it multiply. I invite you to lay your financial worries at my feet today. Say to the spirit of mammon, "You are not my master. The Lord is my provider." I am breaking the chains of debt and the cycles of lack that have plagued your family for generations. I am restoring what the locust has eaten. Trust me with your daily bread, and trust me with your future. I am the God who provided manna in the wilderness, and I am the same God today. You are my child, and I take care of my own. My precious one, I am calling you away from the noise. I see how exhausted you are from the constant pinging of notifications, the endless stream of bad news, and the heavy expectations of everyone around you. I am inviting you into the secret place, that quiet room in your heart where it is just me and you. You must understand that your public strength for today will be birthed in your private devotion today. I command you to seek the silence. Do not be afraid of the quiet. It is in the stillness that my small, still voice becomes a roar of clarity. You have been trying to figure out your life through logic and planning, but I am telling you that the answers you seek are hidden under the shadow of my wings. I am your refuge, a high tower where the chaos of the world cannot reach you. When you enter this secret place, you are not escaping reality. You are entering the only reality that matters. I see the way your mind races when you try to pray. You think about your to-do list, your past mistakes, and your fears for your children. I command those thoughts to be still. I am inviting you to build a prayer life that transcends mere ritual. Stop reciting lists of demands and start practicing the art of listening. I want to tell you things that no eye has seen and no ear has heard. I want to show you the blueprints for your future. When you spend time in my presence, intimacy with me eliminates the fear of the future. Why should you fear a shock when you are sitting with the one who holds the lightning? I am declaring over you a spirit of deep communion. You will find that the more you dwell in the secret place, the less the world's drama can rattle your cage. You will walk out of your prayer closet with a hidden strength that people will notice, but won't be able to explain. I am your Father, and I miss you. I miss the simple conversations we used to have before the world got so loud. I invite you to set aside a sacred hour every day. This is not a suggestion. It is a necessity for your survival in the coming year. I will meet you there. I will wrap my peace around you like a warm blanket on a cold night. I will whisper secrets to you about your family, your calling, and the path ahead. In the secret place, I heal the wounds that you don't show the world. I mend the fractures in your soul caused by the pressures of your daily life. I promise that if you make me your dwelling place, no plague shall come near your tent. You are safe here. You are loved here. This is where your transformation begins. Come away with me, my beloved, and let me restore your soul before the day of the great shift arrives. My child, pay attention, for the days are becoming increasingly tangled with lies. As we approach the day, the volume of deception in the world will reach a fever pitch. I am commanding you to test every spirit. Do not believe everything you hear just because it sounds spiritual or because it matches your political leanings. There are many voices in the world today, false prophets and misleading signs, that are designed to lead even the elect astray if that were possible. I am giving you a gift of discernment that acts like a spiritual compass. When a message comes to you, ask me, Father, is this of you? I will give you a check in your spirit, a subtle feeling of unease if the words are not from my throne. I invite you to stay grounded in my word, for it is the only lamp that will never burn out. If a voice contradicts my word, discard it immediately, no matter how popular or persuasive the speaker may be. I see how easily you can get sucked into the rabbit holes of conspiracy and the what-ifs of the internet. I command you to stop wasting your precious mental energy on things that only breed fear and confusion. Deception often wears the mask of secret knowledge, but my truth is light and life. I am declaring that the Holy Spirit within you is the Spirit of truth. He will lead you and guide you into all truth. When the shock brings confusion to the masses, you will remain calm because you know the author of the story. I invite you to focus on Christ, the pioneer and perfecter of your faith. Do not be distracted by the shadows. Keep your eyes on the sun. I am sharpening your spiritual ears so that you can distinguish my voice from the thousand counterfeits that are flooding the airwaves. I promise you that if you remain humble and teachable, you will not be deceived. Deception preys on pride and the desire to be right. But I am calling you to be righteous. I am giving you the wisdom of the serpent and the innocence of the dove. Use the word as a filter for everything you consume. Before you share a post, before you repeat a rumor, before you let a fear take root, bring it to me. I will show you the truth behind the curtain. I am your God, and I am the truth. In a world of shifting shadows, I am the Father of lights in whom there is no variation. Trust the internal witness of my Spirit. He will tell you when to move and when to stand still. You are not a pawn in a global game. You are a child of the King, and I protect the minds of my children. Stay close to me, and the lies will fall away like dust. My beloved, I want to talk to you about my body, the church. I am not talking about buildings of stone or denominations of man. I am talking about the living, breathing assembly of my people. I am calling the church to be a beacon of hope in the coming darkness. For too long, my people have been content to stay within the four walls of their sanctuaries, singing songs to themselves while the world outside bleeds. I am commanding you to move beyond the walls. The shock of today is designed to shake the world out of its complacency, and when people are shaken, they look for something solid to hold on to. You are that solid thing. I am inviting you to be a hospital for the broken, a sanctuary for the confused, and a lighthouse for the lost. You must be ready to give a reason for the hope that is in you when everything else is falling apart. I am declaring a new season of unity. I am tired of the bickering and the divisions among my children. How can the world see my love if you are busy pointing fingers at each other? I command you to lay down your petty differences and unite under the banner of the cross. Unity is the prerequisite for my glory. When my people are of one heart and one mind, I will pour out my spirit in a way that will make the headlines pale in comparison. I am raising up leaders with integrity, shepherds who care for the sheep more than their own platforms. I see the failures of the past, the scandals that have hurt so many of my children. I'm cleansing my house. I am bringing a revival that stems from genuine, collective brokenness. This is not a hype movement. It is a heart movement. I invite you to see yourself as a vital part of this shift. You are not just a spectator in the pews. You are a carrier of my presence. I am empowering you to reach the hurting in your own neighborhood, your own office, and your own family. When the world is shocked by economic collapse or social upheaval, you will offer the bread of life. I promise that as you give yourself to the service of others, you will find a fulfillment that no earthly success can provide. I am making the church a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. We are entering the hour of the church's greatest opportunity. Do not be ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation. Stand together. Pray together. Serve together. I am the head, and you are the body. Let the world see me through you. My child, listen to my promise regarding your home. I know that as you hear about the shock, your first thought is for those you love. You worry about your spouse, your aging parents, and your little ones. I am commanding you to apply the blood of the Lamb over your doorposts today. Just as I protected the Israelites in Egypt while the plague passed over, I am placing a hedge of protection around your household. I am declaring the promises of Psalm 91 over your egress. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. I am your dwelling place. I invite you to turn your home into a sanctuary of peace and worship. Let the atmosphere of your house be so thick with my presence that fear cannot find a place to sit down. I see the battle for the minds and hearts of your children. The world is trying to steal their innocence and drown them in confusion. I command you to intercede for them with a new intensity. Your prayers are not empty words. They are spiritual weapons that shield your offspring from the darkness. I am declaring divine immunity for your family from the plagues of fear and despair that will sweep the globe. Even for your unsaved family members, those who have wandered far, those who mock your faith, I am calling them home. Use this time before the day of the shock to be a witness of my love to them. Don't preach, just love. Let them see a peace in you that makes them curious. I am the God of the household, and I desire that none should perish. I invite you to rest in the knowledge that I am the watchman over your house. You can sleep in peace tonight because I never slumber nor sleep. I am stationing angels at your windows and doors. I see the unspoken tensions in your family, the misunderstandings that have caused distance. I am healing those today. I am bringing a spirit of reconciliation to your living room. I promise that as the world becomes more fractured, your home will become more unified. It will be a place of laughter, of safety, and of deep spiritual growth. You are not alone in your responsibility to protect your family. I am the great protector. Trust my covenant. I keep my promises to 1,000 generations. Your household belongs to me, and I do not lose what is mine. My child, as you apply the blood over your doorposts and secure your family against the coming shock, I invite you to become a guardian for other households as well. I am calling you to extend the hedge of my protection by sowing a seed into this mission, ensuring that the light of my warning reaches every dark corner. You have the power to be the manna for a hungry soul today. Do not withhold the good that is in your hand when I have empowered you to act. Your support through the link in the description, a super thanks. where joining as a member is not a mere transaction, but a divine partnership in the work of the kingdom. I declare that as you honor me with your substance, I will rebuking the devourer for your sake and multiply your storehouse beyond your understanding. I am watching for the ones who will stand with me to prepare the world for the day. Command your resources to serve my purpose and sow your seed of support right now. I am watching you closely, and I see the temptation to think you have heard enough. But I tell you, to stop now would be a tragic mistake. It would disappoint my spirit to see you settle for a partial blessing when I have an entire inheritance laid out for you in the words to come. You are standing at the threshold of my deeper counsel. Do not grieve me by choosing the distractions of the world over the weight of my glory. I am speaking life into your future. Honor the sacredness of this moment and continue to listen. My beloved, I want to speak to the regret that sits in your heart. You look back at the years you feel you've wasted, the years lost to sickness, the years lost to a bad relationship, the years lost to a job that drained your soul. You feel like the clock is running out and you'll never catch up. But I am the Lord of time, and I am making a promise to you today. I will restore the years the locust has eaten. I am declaring a season of accelerated growth for you. What took others decades to achieve, I can bring to pass in your life in a matter of months. I am the God who can compress time. While the world is reeling from the shock, you will be standing in the middle of a harvest you didn't think was possible yet. I am redeeming your time because I know your heart is for me. I command you to stop mourning over what could have been. I am turning your past failures into future foundations. Every tear you shed in those dry years was a seed. Every silent struggle was a refinement. I invite you to look forward with expectation. You are not behind schedule. You are exactly where I need you to be for the coming shift. I am declaring that the harvest will come sooner than the sower expects. You will see my promises manifest suddenly, like a flash of lightning. You will look around and say, "How did I get here so fast?" And I will whisper, "Because I carried you." I am the God of the 11th hour, and I love to show my power when the situation seems impossible. I see the way you've been faithful in the small things, even when no one was watching. I have seen your integrity when it would have been easier to compromise. I am rewarding that faithfulness now. I invite you to step into the new that I am creating. Do not try to drag the heavy baggage of your old mistakes into this new season. I have wiped the slate clean. I am giving you a fresh start, a new energy, and a clear vision. I promise that the joy of the restoration will far outweigh the pain of the loss. You will see my goodness in the land of the living. I am your Father, and I love to surprise my children with grace. The years you thought were lost are being woven into a masterpiece of my glory. Trust the process. Trust my timing. I'm making all things new, and I am starting with you. My precious child, I want you to sit with me for a moment and simply breathe. I see the invisible scars you carry, the ones that no one else sees when you smile and tell the world you are fine. I am the great physician, and I am reaching out my hand to touch the places in your soul that are still tender from past shocks. You have survived seasons of betrayal, loss, and disappointment that would have broken others, but I see the exhaustion in your eyes. I am commanding you to let go of the bitterness you have held on to as a form of protection. You think that by staying guarded, you are staying safe, but you are only keeping the wound from closing. I invite you to bring those broken pieces to my throne. I do not just patch you up, I make you whole. I am declaring that your past trauma will not dictate your future victory. You cannot walk into a new season while still bleeding from the old one. I see the emotional weight of the shocks you have already endured, the sudden phone calls, the unexpected goodbyes, and the dreams that chattered on the floor. I'm promising you beauty for ashes and the oil of joy for your mourning. I command you to stop replaying the scenes of your pain in your mind. Every time you revisit those memories with a heart of why, you reopen the wound. I am inviting you to find wholeness in the midst of a fractured world. While everything around you may be breaking, I am knitting you back together. I am giving you a heart that is resilient, a spirit that is unshakable, and a mind that is at peace. I am your Father, and it hurts me to see you hurting. I am the God who bottles every tear you have ever cried. Not one of them hath been forgotten. I want you to understand that there is a unique strength found in vulnerability before my throne. You don't have to be strong for me. I am your strength. When you admit you are broken, it allows my grace to flow into the cracks. I am declaring a season of deep emotional healing for your household. I am mending the relationships that were torn apart by pride and pain. I am restoring the bond between you and those you love. I invite you to forgive those who never said they were sorry. Do it for your own freedom. Do it so that when the world experiences its next great shift, your heart is light enough to soar. I am the one who heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. Trust my touch. I am gentle, and I am kind. You are safe in my hands. My child, look up, for the heavens are heavy with the rain you have never seen. I am reminding you of my promise in Joel 2:28, that in the latter days I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh. We are in those days now. As the world moves toward the marker, the spiritual atmosphere is becoming supercharged. I am commanding you to prepare yourself to be a conduit for the supernatural. This is not just for the spiritual giants or the people on a stage. This is for you. I am declaring that your sons and daughters shall prophesy, and you shall see visions and dream dreams that will guide you through the darkness. I invite you to receive the baptism of fire, a holy heat that purifies your desires and empowers your hands. The world's chaos is merely the backdrop for my greatest glory, and I have chosen you to be a witness to it. I see your hunger for more. You have felt a restlessness in your spirit, a sense that there is more to this life than what you can see and touch. That hunger is from me. I am inviting you to stop playing in the shallows and come out into the deep. I am giving you spiritual gifts that will serve those around you. When the shock hits and the people in your life are paralyzed by fear, you will operate in a word of wisdom, a gift of healing, or a spirit of prophecy that will bring them back to life. I command you not to be afraid of my power. It is the same power that raised Christ from the dead, and it lives inside of you. I am making you a carrier of the miraculous. You will speak to dry bone situations in your family and your finances, and you will see them come to life by my Spirit. I want you to understand why the darkness seems to be thickening. It is because my light is about to shine the brightest. I am declaring that you will not be a victim of the times, but a leader in the movement of my Spirit. I invite you to spend more time in worship than in worry. When you worship, you open a portal for my presence to enter your reality. I am sharpening your spiritual senses so you can perceive what I am doing in the unseen realm. You will know things before they happen. You will feel my heartbeat for the lost. I promise that as you yield to my Spirit, your life will become a testament to the supernatural. You are being empowered for such a time as this. Do not shrink back. Step into the fire of my love and let it transform you into a beacon for the world. My beloved, the time has come for you to find your voice. We are living in an era where the truth is being traded for comfort, and many of my children have remained silent out of fear. I am commanding you to overcome the fear of man. What can a mere human do to you compared to the eternal reward I have prepared for you? I am inviting you to stand boldly for my name in the public square, in your workplace, and in your social circles. Do not be ashamed of the gospel, for it is the only power that can save a world in shock. I am declaring that I have given you authority over all the power of the enemy. When you speak my truth with love and conviction, chains break and darkness flees. I am calling you to be salt and light in a world that has become bland and dark. I see the pressure you feel to compromise. You see the social rejection and the mockery that comes to those who follow me, and a part of you wants to blend in. I command you to refuse the earthly comfort that comes at the cost of your soul's integrity. I am promising a special reward for those who do not deny me. When you stand up for what is right, even when you stand alone, I am standing right there with you. I am inviting you to gird your loins with the truth. Let my word be the final authority in your life. When the world tries to rewrite my laws and redefine my nature, you must remain unshakable. I am giving you a courage that is not your own, a divine boldness that comes from knowing who you are in me. I want you to understand that your silence is not peace. It is a concession to the enemy. I am declaring that you will speak life where there is death and truth where there is deception. You don't have to be loud to be powerful. Sometimes the boldest truth is spoken in a quiet, firm voice of conviction. I am inviting you to represent me with excellence. Let your life be so full of integrity and grace that people have to acknowledge the God you serve. I am your Father, and I am proud of you when you take a stand for me. I will give you the words to say when the moment arrives. I will protect your reputation and your future. Be bold, my child. The world is looking for someone who actually believes what they say. Let that someone be you. My child, look at the world around you. It is a whirlwind of doing, striving, and busyness. Everyone is running, but few know where they are going. I am commanding you to embrace the virtue of a listening heart. Remember Mary and Martha. While Martha was distracted by much serving, Mary chose the better part. She sat at my feet. I am inviting you to do the same as we approach the day. You cannot prepare for a divine shock through frantic activity. You prepare through quietness and confidence. I am declaring that your strength is found in sitting still. I command you to gather the oil for your lamp now, before the midnight cry sounds. This oil is the intimacy and the knowledge of me that can only be built in the quiet hours of the morning and the secret moments of the night. I see your desire to fix everything. You want to fix your family, your finances, and the future. But I am inviting you to listen more than you speak in the coming months. I have secrets I want to share with you, but I cannot speak over the noise of your own plans. I am declaring a season of spiritual fasting for you, not just from food, but from the distractions of the world. Fast from the constant noise of the media. Fast from the opinions of men. I want your heart to be a clear channel for my voice. I am commanding you to store up treasures in heaven that cannot be shaken. When the earthly structures experience their shock, the only thing you will truly possess is what you have built in the Spirit. This is the wisdom of preparation. It is the discipline of the soul. I want you to find peace in being unproductive in the eyes of the world while being deeply rooted in me. I am your Father, and I love to just be with you. I invite you to take long walks in my creation and let the wind remind you of my Spirit. I am promising you a peace that comes from being spiritually ready. When the day of the shock arrives, you will not have to scramble. You will simply step into the position I have already shown you in the secret place. I am your guide, and I know the way through the wilderness. Trust my pace. Do not run ahead of me out of anxiety, and do not lag behind out of laziness. Stay in step with my Spirit. The quiet preparation you do today will be your greatest asset tomorrow. I am with you, and I am leading you into a place of rest. My beloved, my heart yearns for you to hear the full counsel of my will, and it would be a profound sorrow to me if you grew weary of my voice just as I am about to reveal the mysteries of the shift. Do not treat my words as common noise that you can simply switch off when you are satisfied. To abandon this conversation now is to tell me that your time is more precious than my presence, and that is a wound I desire to heal, not endure. Lean in further, for the most vital instructions for your soul are still yet to be spoken. My precious one, I want to talk to you about a difficult truth. You see the shocks and the trials in the world, and you wonder where I am. I want you to understand that my judgments are true and righteous altogether. I am the judge of all the earth, and I cannot ignore the cry of the oppressed or the arrogance of the proud. But I want you to see that my judgment is never separate from my mercy. When I allow a shock to hit the systems of this world, it is a tool of my mercy. It is a divine wake-up call to bring the prodigals home. I am commanding you to see the world through this lens of love. Do not pray for fire on your enemies, pray for the rain of repentance to fall on their hearts. I am declaring that the window of mercy remains open for the lost, and I am using you as a bridge. I see the fear you have that you will be caught up in the judgment of the world. I am inviting you to trust my sovereignty over the nations. I know how to deliver the godly out of temptations and how to reserve the unjust for the day of judgment. You are covered by the blood. I am commanding you to pray for those who will be most affected by the coming shift. While the shock serves to bring down the high places of pride, it also serves to soften the hearts of the skeptics. I am declaring that millions will turn to me in a single day because the things they trusted in failed them. You must be ready to receive them. I invite you to balance my holy justice with my infinite love in your own heart. Do not become self-righteous. Remember that you, too, were once a wanderer. I want you to trust me with the why of the world's pain. You cannot see the end from the beginning, but I can. I am weaving a tapestry of redemption out of the threads of human history. I am promising that even the most difficult shocks are working together for the good of those who love me. I am inviting you to be a carrier of my mercy. When people are hurting and confused by the shifting world, show them the Father they have forgotten. Show them the God who is slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. I am your God, and I do not take pleasure in the death of the wicked. I desire that all should come to repentance. Stand in the gap, my child. Your prayers for mercy can change the course of history for a soul, a family, or a nation. Trust my hand. My precious child, I want you to look at the seasons of the earth and see the precision with which I move. The sun does not rise a moment too early, and the tide does not retreat a second too late. Everything in my creation responds to my rhythm, and your life is no different. I am speaking to you about the significance of today, because it is a marker in the spiritual realm that you cannot afford to ignore. I am commanding you to trust the kairos moments of my calendar. You often live your life by chronos, the ticking of the clock, the pressure of deadlines, and the anxiety of the passing years. But I am inviting you to step into my timing, where a single day can accomplish more than a decade of human striving. I am declaring that your suddenly is approaching. I see your frustration when things don't happen on your schedule, but I am telling you that my delays are never my denials. They are my protections. I command you to stop running ahead of me. I see the way you try to force doors open because you are afraid of being left behind. You look at the success of others, and you feel a panic in your chest, thinking that your window of opportunity is closing. I am your Father, and I hold the window. I am inviting you to practice patience as a fruit of my Spirit. Patience is not just waiting. It is the attitude you maintain while you wait. If you run ahead of me, you walk into battles I never intended for you to fight. If you lag behind me out of laziness or fear, you miss the manna I have provided for that specific day. I am declaring a divine synchronization over your walk. You will be at the right place, at the right time, speaking to the right people, because I am the one directing your steps. I want you to understand that today is not just a date, it is a spiritual gateway. I am preparing the world for a shift that requires you to be perfectly aligned with my will. I see the shocks you have faced in the past where you felt I was too late. I am asking you to trust me now. I am the God who arrived late to Lazarus' tomb only to perform a greater miracle than a simple healing. I am the God who waited until the fourth watch of the night to walk on the water toward the disciples. I am inviting you to rest in my sovereignty. I am never early, and I am never late. I am exactly on time. I am promising you that when the shock of 2026 arrives, you will see the beauty of my timing. You will see how every delay was a brick in the foundation of your safety. Trust the pace of my spirit. I am leading you home. My child, it is time for you to walk in the full authority of your inheritance. I see the chains that have bound your family for generations, the spirits of addiction, the cycles of poverty, the recurring patterns of divorce, and the heavy shroud of depression. You have felt like these things are just the way it is, but I am commanding you to tear down the high places of pride and ego. I am declaring victory over every ancient stronghold that has tried to claim territory in your life. As the world experiences a physical and social shock, I am releasing a spiritual earthquake to shatter the prisons that have kept you small. I am inviting you to use the name of Jesus as a battering ram against the gates of your past. There is no curse so old that my blood cannot wash it away. I see the silent battles you fight with yourself, the feelings of unworthiness and the voices of never enough. These are strongholds of the mind. I command you to take every thought captive. Stop agreeing with the enemy's assessment of your value. I am declaring that you are my masterpiece, recreated in Christ for good works that I prepared long ago. I am giving you the power of the spoken word to shatter these chains. When you speak my promises out loud, the vibrations of truth literally shake the spiritual realm. I invite you to reclaim the territory the enemy has stolen from you, your joy, your peace, your health, and your destiny. I am the God who breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. I am your champion, and I have already won the war. I want you to understand that your identity is not found in your trauma or your family tree. Your identity is found in me. I am breaking the generational defaults that have kept you in a loop of struggle. I am declaring a new lineage for you, a lineage of fire, power, and grace. I command you to stand up and walk out of the open door. The enemy has tried to convince you that the door is still locked, but I am the one who holds the keys. I invite you to live as a child of the King, not a slave to your history. I am promising you a liberty that the world cannot understand and cannot take away. As we approach the great shift of 2026, you will find yourself walking with a new stride and a clear head. The giants that terrified your ancestors will fall at your feet. I am your deliverer, and I am doing a new thing. My beloved, I am calling you to a place of radical surrender. I see the way you have offered me partial obedience, the way you follow me when it's convenient or when it aligns with your own plans. But I am telling you that partial obedience is still disobedience. I am commanding you to move into a season of total surrender. Those who have reserved pockets of their lives for themselves will find those pockets are the very places where fear takes root. I am inviting you to give me your radical yes. This means hearing my voice and acting without hesitation, even when the path is unclear and the world thinks you are foolish. I am declaring that the greatest blessings of your life are attached to the things I have asked you to do that make the least sense to your logic. I see your hesitation. You want to see the whole map before you take the first step. But I am the God who told Abraham to leave his country without telling him where he was going. I am inviting you to trust me in the dark. I command you to stop negotiating with my commands. When I tell you to forgive, forgive now. When I tell you to sow, sow now. When I tell you to speak, speak now. Delayed obedience is a thief that steals the momentum of my spirit in your life. I am declaring a season of instant response for your soul. You will find a joy in pleasing your Heavenly Father that far outweighs the comfort of your safety zones. I am your shepherd, and my sheep know my voice. I am sharpening your hearing so that you can catch my slightest whisper in the middle of a crowd. I want you to understand that my commands are not burdens. They are boundaries of love. They are the guardrails that keep you on the path of life while the world drives off the cliff of its own desires. I am promising you that your obedience will be your greatest protection during the shock. While others are guessing and gambling with their lives, you will be moving with the precision of a divine architect. I am inviting you to lay your will on the altar and pick up mine. I am the God who rewards those who diligently seek Him. I see your heart, and I know you want to please me. I am giving you the grace to say yes and the strength to follow through. Walk with me in this new level of obedience, and you will see the heavens open in ways you never dreamed possible. My child, let us talk about the fire. I see the trials you have endured, and I know you have often asked, why me? I want you to understand that I am not an observer of your pain. I am a participant in it. I am inviting you into the fellowship of my sufferings. I am commanding you to find my presence in the very center of the furnace. Just as there was a fourth man in the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, I am standing in the heat with you. I am declaring that the purpose of your trials is not to consume you, but to refine you. The shock of today will feel like fire to many, but to you, it will be the finishing touch on the gold of your faith. I am promising you a comfort that the world cannot understand, a peace that sits beside you in the hospital room, in the unemployment office, and in the house of mourning. I see the scars you carry from being misunderstood and persecuted for your faith. I command you to wear those scars as medals of honor. You are standing with the prophets, the apostles, and the martyrs who knew that this world was not their home. I am inviting you to stand with other believers who are facing the heat of the world's hatred. Do not shrink back from the struggle. I am declaring that your endurance is producing a weight of glory that far exceeds the pressure of your problems. I am promising the crown of life to those who remain faithful unto death. I want you to understand that your scars will become testimonies of my grace. When the world is shocked and looking for answers, they will look at you and ask, how did you survive the fire without the smell of smoke on your clothes? And you will tell them about me. I see your weariness, and I am giving you my rest. Suffering is not a sign of my absence. It is often the place of my greatest intimacy. I am inviting you to lean your head on my chest and hear my heartbeat for the world. I am the man of sorrows, well acquainted with grief, and I know how to carry yours. I command you to stop trying to be okay on your own. Let me be your strength. I am promising that the morning is coming. The night may be long, and the shock may be intense, but I am the bright and morning star. Your pain has a purpose, and your tears are not wasted. I am your Father, and I am holding you through the flame. You are coming out of this stronger, purer, and more powerful than you ever were before. Beloved, you have seen how I transform your scars into stars and your trials into a weight of glory, and now I am asking you to help others find that same redemption. I am looking for the faithful who will fuel the fire of this word so that the brokenhearted across the nations can hear my voice and be mended. When you give through the PayPal link or become a member, you are providing the oil for the lamps of many who are wandering in the dark. I am moving through your generosity to build an unshakable foundation for those who are currently drowning in the world's despair. I promise that your bread cast upon the waters will return to you as a harvest of unprecedented favor and supernatural peace. This is your divine appointment to be a conduit of my grace before the great shift arrives. I command you to step forward in faith and support this ministry today. We are nearing the climax of my message, and I command you to stay focused, for to pull back now would be to forfeit the final strength you need for the coming storm. It breaks my heart to see my children start a journey, but refuse to finish it, leaving their hearts incomplete and their armor unfinished. Do not disappoint the grace that has carried you this far. Show me that you value my heart enough to stay until the final word is released. The most transformative power is reserved for those who endure to the end. Do not let this cup pass you by. My beloved, I am commanding you to guard your tongue. I see how you have allowed the media's narrative of fear and the world's obsession with bad news to dictate the words you speak over your dinner table and your future. I am inviting you to reclaim the narrative of hope. I am declaring that you have the creative power of the tongue to shape your reality. The airwaves will be filled with voices of doom, but I want your voice to be a melody of life. I command you to prophesy to the dry bones in your life, your health, your family, your city. Speak to the dead things and tell them to live in the name of Jesus. You are not a reporter of the darkness. You are an ambassador of the light. I see the way you get caught up in the doom scrolling and the endless debates that leave your spirit feeling heavy and gray. I am inviting you to focus on the good news amidst the shock. I am declaring that you will be a carrier of contagious peace. When people come into your presence, they should feel the atmosphere shift. They should feel a hope that doesn't make sense given the circumstances. I command you to refuse to align your speech with the enemy's agenda. Stop saying, "I'm so stressed, I'm so broke," or "the world is ending." Start saying, "My God is able, my God is my provider, and the kingdom of God is at hand." I am inviting you to be a visionary who sees the harvest while everyone else only sees the storm. I want you to understand that hope is not a feeling. It is a person, and his name is Jesus. I am promising you that your hope will not put you to shame. I see the reason for the hope that is within you, and I am calling you to share it with anyone who asks. I am declaring that your words will have weight and authority. When you speak, the atmosphere will bow to the truth you carry. I am inviting you to be a herald of the coming glory. While the world is mourning the loss of its idols, you will be celebrating the arrival of my King. I am your God, and I have given you the final word. The story does not end in shock and chaos. It ends in victory and light. Reclaim your voice, my child. Speak life. Speak hope, and watch the world around you begin to change. My child, I am inviting you to lift your eyes above the horizon of your physical world. You are currently living in a season where the veil between heaven and earth is becoming thinner than ever before. I am commanding you to recognize that you have direct access to my throne room. I am opening heavenly portals over your life and your home, spiritual windows that allow my grace, my wisdom, and my power to flow into your reality without hindrance. When the world feels the shock of its foundations failing, those who know how to live under an open heaven will remain unshaken. I am declaring an increase in angelic activity around the faithful. You are not fighting your battles alone. I have stationed my heavenly hosts to guard you, to protect your children, and to go before you into the places where the enemy has tried to set traps for your feet. I command you to come up higher. Stop looking at your problems from the perspective of the earth, where you feel small and overwhelmed. I invite you to see things my way, from the seat of victory. When you pray, you are not shouting into an empty void. You are stepping through the veil that was torn for you. I am giving you glimpses of the unseen realm because I want you to understand the true nature of the warfare in the second heaven. The shocks you see in the physical world are often the results of spiritual shifts. I am declaring that you have the authority to bind and loose in the spirit, changing the atmosphere of your workplace, your city, and your family. I am inviting you to be a person of the Spirit who is more aware of my presence than they are of the darkness. I see the moments when you feel like you are just an ordinary person struggling to make it through the week. I am here to tell you that there is nothing ordinary about a child of God living under an open portal. I am promising you that as the reality of the unseen realm becomes more apparent, your fear of the future will dissolve. You will see my hand moving in coincidences that are actually divine appointments. You will feel my peace descending like a cloud when you enter a room. I am inviting you to live as a citizen of the New Jerusalem right now. Let the light of my glory illuminate your path so that you never stumble. I am your Father, and I love to show my children the wonders of my kingdom. Open your heart to the supernatural. Expect the miraculous. I am the God of the open door, and I have called you to walk through it into a life of abundance and power. My precious one, look out at the fields of humanity. I see what you see, a world that is angry, divided, and deeply confused. But I am commanding you to look again through the eyes of the Spirit. The fields are not just messy, they are white for harvest. The shock is not just a disruption, it is a divine tool I am using to soften the hearts of the skeptics. When people's idols of money, health, and security are shaken, they will begin to ask the questions they have avoided for years. I am inviting you to be ready to give them the answer. I am declaring that the laborers are few, but I have chosen you to be one of them. You don't need a theology degree to win souls. You only need a heart of genuine compassion and a willingness to tell your story. I command you to move with urgency. I see the way you hesitate, thinking that you aren't holy enough or knowledgeable enough to share my love with others. Stop listening to those lies. I am the one who qualifies the called. I am inviting you to win souls through simple acts of kindness. When the world is in shock, a cup of cold water given in my name, a listening ear, or a prayer for a stranger will carry more weight than 1,000 sermons. I am declaring that the Great Commission is your primary mission in 2026. I am promising you that as you focus on my harvest, I will take care of your house. When you seek first my kingdom, all the things you worry about, your bills, your health, your future, will be added unto you. I am the God of the harvest, and I will not let my fruit rot in the field. I want you to understand that you are a mentor in the making. There are people in your life right now, younger believers, coworkers, even neighbors, who are watching how you handle the shocks of life. I am inviting you to lead them by example. Show them what it looks like to trust me when the headlines are scary. Show them how to find peace in the secret place. I am promising you an eternal reward for those you lead to righteousness. You will shine like the stars forever and ever. I am declaring a season of sudden conversions in your family. Those you have prayed for 20 years will suddenly have a heart transplant. Be ready to receive them. Be ready to shepherd them. I am your God, and I am bringing the lost home. The harvest is great, and the time is now. Put your hand to the plow and do not look back. My child, I want to wrap you in a truth that can never be broken. I am speaking to you about my covenant of peace. This is not a fragile agreement that depends on your performance. It is an unshakable promise made through the blood of my Son. I am commanding you to rest in the knowledge that I am in total control. When the world feels like it is spinning out of its orbit, you must remember that my covenant remains. I am declaring that I will never leave you nor forsake you. I am the God who sticks closer than a brother. I invite you to breathe in the peace that passes all understanding, a peace that guards your heart and your mind like a garrison of elite soldiers. This peace is your birthright. I see the knots of anxiety that still try to tighten in your chest when you think about the what-ifs of the future. I command those knots to be loosed in my name. I am inviting you to find stability in my character. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. While the systems of men are volatile and the hearts of men are fickle, I am the rock. I am promising you that even if the mountains depart and the hills are removed, my steadfast love shall not depart from you. I am declaring that your name is engraved on the palms of my hands. Every time I look at my hands, I see you. I see your struggles, I see your name, and I see the price I paid to keep you safe. You are not a forgotten number in a global crisis. You are a cherished child in a father's house. I want you to live with the confidence of someone who already knows the end of the story. I have already written the final chapter, and it ends in absolute victory. I am inviting you to trust the process, even when the middle of the story feels like a shock. I am promising you that I am working all things together for your good. When the world is panicking, you can be at peace because you know the author. I am declaring a season of quiet confidence over your soul. You don't have to shout to be heard. Your peace will be your testimony. I am your God, and I have made a covenant with you that the storms cannot wash away. Rest in me. Abide in me. I am your shepherd, and I lead you beside the still waters. You are safe. You are secure. You are mine. You are at the very edge of the final breakthrough, and I plead with you from the depths of my eternal love. Do not stop here. It would be a grievance to my spirit for you to miss the final seal of my blessing after we have walked this entire path together. Your persistence is a sign of your reverence for me. Do not dishonor this divine encounter by rushing away at the final gate. Listen to my final word, for it is the anchor that will hold you when the shock finally arrives. Stay, for I am not finished with you yet. My precious one, we have reached a pinnacle in our conversation. I am giving you this final warning because I love you too much to let you walk blindly into the future. Behold, I stand at the door and I am knocking. I am knocking on the door of your heart, your home, and your habits. I am commanding you to open every room to me. The shock of today is not a punishment for you. It is a catalyst for your growth. It is the wind that will carry you to new heights if you learn to set your sails by my spirit. I am inviting you to live every single day from this moment forward as if it were the day of my return. Do not waste another hour on trivialities or bitterness. I am declaring that the time for playing church is over. The time for being the church has arrived. I command you to take courage. The dragon may roar, and the world may tremble, but I am the Lamb who has already conquered. I am promising you the ultimate victory. I see the way you have struggled, and I am declaring that your endurance is being turned into a crown of glory. I am inviting you to receive my final blessing of strength and perseverance. I am pouring out a fresh anointing upon your head that will not run dry when the days get difficult. I am promising you that all things, every shock, every trial, every tear, work together for good for those who love me and are called according to my purpose. You are called. You are chosen. You are loved with an everlasting love. I want you to carry my voice with you when this message ends. Do not let these words be just a memory. Let them be a fire that burns in your soul. I am your Father, and I am always speaking to you. I am the God of the 11th hour, and the God of the impossible. I am promising you that when you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. When you walk through the waters, they will not overflow you. I am with you, and I am for you. I am declaring over you a life of significance, impact, and eternal joy. Go forth in my power. Stand boldly for my truth. Protect your household with my peace. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I have the first word and the last word over your life, and that word is victory. I love you, my child. Always. My precious child, the midnight cry is approaching, and I am calling my remnants to gather the harvest before the day of the shock is fully upon us. You have heard my heart and felt my presence. Now I invite you to be the hands that carry this clarion call to the ends of the earth. By supporting this mission through a super thanks or the links below, you are planting seeds of eternal hope in a world that is about to be shaken to its core. I am declaring that your names are written in my book of remembrance as those who did not hide their light under a bushel. I will open the portals of heaven over your life, pouring out a blessing of restoration and divine immunity that no earthly system can touch. Do not let this moment of conviction pass without action. Your investment in my word is an investment in the souls of millions. I command you to act now, become a partner in this final hour, and sow your most courageous gift today. Now, my child, do not let these words simply vanish into the air, but cement them into the very fabric of your reality by making a bold, prophetic declaration right now. I command you to strike the ground with your faith and release a sound that shatters the silence of the enemy's lies. If you are ready to stand unshaken when the world is shocked, I invite you to leave a comment below declaring, I am ready for my sudden shift, and I trust my Father's timing. By typing these words, you are applying the blood over your household and signaling to the heavens that you have awakened from your slumber. Do not hesitate, for your public confession today activates the private miracles I am preparing for your tomorrow. I am watching for your response. My beloved, speak it out, write it down, and watch how I move the mountains to make a way for you. Amen.